1/3 of your house is taxed if you don't have the right status. Hi everyone, I'm Elizabeth Long. I'm a Canadian immigration lawyer at LM Law Group.
And I'm Chris Mulder, principal broker at Tridac Mortgage in Toronto.
So right now it's a buyer's market in Canada, and especially in Toronto. And so a lot of people are saying, wow, I really would like to purchase a home right now in Toronto. But if you are not a Canadian citizen or permanent resident, there are a lot of hurdles that may be in your way before you can actually purchase a home. So today, we wanted to provide you with some tips and tricks from an immigration standpoint.
And from the finance standpoint.
First of all, there is the foreign buyers ban, which is currently set until the end of the year. So it's supposed to be over by January 1st of 2027. Who knows if the government is going to extend that. And that would apply to most visitors who are coming to Canada, and also for certain workers and students. Some of you are exempt from the ban, but it would apply to some of you as well. But here in Ontario, and especially in the Toronto region, you really have to think about the NRST. What's NRST again?
It is the non-resident speculative tax, NRST.
NRST, okay? And the NRST is 25% in the Golden Horseshoe area in Ontario. But there is also a special, if you want to buy in the city of Toronto, there's another 10% tax by the city of Toronto. So that's 35%.
Totally, that's a lot.
There are some exemptions to the NRST. For example, if you are a provincial nominee, you're married to a Canadian citizen or permanent resident, you're a refugee, recognized refugee, and you may be able to get a rebate back if you obtain your permanent residence within 4 years of purchasing your home. And that's where hiring someone like me may help you save a lot of money to make sure you have a proper plan and understand your timeline as to how to get your permanent residence. I would normally say in the best of times, there is no guarantee with immigration, right? Sometimes it should take under 6 months, but in some exceptional circumstances, it can take a lot longer.
And Elizabeth, I think it might be worth mentioning as well with an example. For example, if it's a $1 million purchase and the non-resident speculative tax applies of 35%, not to mention on top of that, there's also land transfer tax in the city of Toronto as well and provincially. So the tax burden can be quite significant, although there are some rebates available as first-time homebuyers for the land transfer tax portion, but certainly not for the NRST portion.
In case, they want to purchase the home anyway, maybe they're exempt from the NRST because they're a provincial nominee, etc. In those kind of situations, are there programs, does their status matter to qualify for a mortgage from the banks?
Yeah, absolutely it does. And Canadian banks have been very accommodative to newcomers, developing some very creative products to help newcomers obtain homeownership in Canada. But the banks do allow newcomers to Canada who have employment to qualify for mortgages.
Are the rates generally higher for?
That's a great question. Actually, the programs are available at best rates available from the bank. There's full negotiation. In some ways, having the perspective of working with newcomers and Canadians on financing, I think a lot of the strict rules that apply to Canadians and permanent residents to apply for mortgages really get relaxed to really help newcomers to Canada.
Are there some things, because a lot of people may not want to apply for a mortgage or pay the high taxes until they get permanent residency status. Now, in that situation, though, are there some things that they can do while they're waiting for their permanent residency to make sure that when it comes time to talk to the banks, once they have their permanent residence, get a mortgage, that they can get the best rates?
Yeah, absolutely. So for newcomers, the focus is on income, credit, and down payment. So we'll start with income. Having full-time employment for at least 3 months in Canada is critical.
Yeah.
Okay. When it comes to credit history, a lot of newcomers arrive and are trying to establish credit as quickly as possible. And so there should be a focus on obtaining a credit card. Now, if you don't, for whatever reason, have a credit history established before attempting to buy a home, again, there's accommodation for that. You can use foreign credit reports if you're coming from the US, the UK, Australia, New Zealand. And beyond that, lenders will also accept utility bills, bank statements to show that there haven't been negative payments or arrears on any payments. So there are, again, very accommodative ways of working around that. And then the third is having your down payment available. And if you're bringing money from overseas, it's important to bring it into Canada and have it in a Canadian institution invested for as long as possible. Now, it is possible to bring money from overseas, but there are additional checks and balances. So having money here in Canada is important.
Right. So let's say you're getting a large down payment from your parents from overseas. Certainly the house should be purchased in your name if you're the permanent resident, not your family members if they're not permanent residents, right?
Yeah.
But if the money is coming from their parents, in that situation, what are some of the things that they need to keep in mind when bringing that money over?
There are, in Canada, we have some fundamental laws around anti-money laundering and terrorism financing. There's an entity called FinTrack that regulates this strictly. Banks will accept down payment as a gift from overseas. There's no problem with that. Generally speaking, we need transparency as to the source of those funds. So the foreign bank, the source of the funds, a bank statement from the bank where the money exits from, the transaction or wire report, and the arrival of the funds into your Canadian bank account are generally sufficient to satisfy the requirements for the lender to accept gifted funds for down payment.
Okay, well that's good to know. So hopefully you'll be able to purchase your first home soon. But before you do, make sure you talk with us to make sure that the plan to get that home is solid and that you'll be able to qualify for your funding and not have to pay too much tax. Take care, everyone.
Bye for now.